Good evening, all. How are we? Welcome to Warriors of Attraction. Yet again, my name's Adam. For people that don't know me, Andrea is again not going to be with us. Obviously, she's got personal issues which she has to deal with. So, hope she's back for next week. Um, Tonight, so it's just going to be me and my wonderful guest. All the way. Well, she's the CEO of Learn to Love Yourself. I probably got that right. If she don't, if I haven't, she's probably going to kill me. I don't know. But anyway, she can't from Canada. Annette Chiappe, we all know who she is. Today we're going to be discussing anxiety and trauma therapy. So let's see in about 30 seconds and please share. Hello, Annette.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
How you doing, Adam?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Oh, I'm missing Andrea. I was looking forward to chatting with her.
So was I. So was I. But
Yeah.
hey, things like this come up all the time. But 1st of December.
Yes, it's one more month and 2022 is finished.
I know.
Lots of changes for 2023, I tell you.
Yeah,
I just got some news.
Yeah, well, the pressure doesn't end here in this house.
Oh, no.
No, we got Christmas, and then once Christmas is done, that's it. We got to get ready for our little lad's birthday. So it doesn't end.
Whose birthday?
Lucas's, our son's.
Oh, what day was he born?
The 5th.
Of January?
Yeah.
Ah, he's 2 days after me.
Ah, but he's going to be 11, going on like 21.
I don't want to tell the viewers how old I am.
Oh, you're really going to be 18, aren't you?
Always. Forever.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Obviously, it was you that started this topic, like come up with this topic. So explain to the viewers why you chose this topic and what people will get from it.
Oh, well, I chose this topic because I've been doing regular morning meditations, Vipassana meditation, as a matter of fact. That's not really tied into anxiety, but it came up in my thoughts that cross when you're doing silent meditation. And I think it would be a great topic to discuss because I've been looking for some really deep, motivating conversations for viewers to listen to. And this is one I haven't actually really dived into too deeply on my show. And maybe I can morph it into a future show for myself. So I find a lot of people struggling with mental health issues absolutely, of course, have a lot of trauma, A, and B, anxiety from their trauma. And I myself struggled with it deeply. So that's why I wanted to bring this up. I thought it would be a great topic for people to tune in on.
And you thought you'd ask me.
Yes.
It's all right. Apparently, guys, everything goes through me, and I get final say on it, which I have not got a clue why, because we're all equal. But hey, so anxiety and trauma. What's the difference? Because obviously, I did a TikTok live earlier, around about 6 p.m. tonight, a couple of hours ago, and I was talking about trauma. Of how there's always different levels of trauma, like for example, childbirth or falling off a bike or bullying or anything like that, or even grieving over a loss of a loved one. So,
yeah,
when you hear the word trauma, what comes to you?
Well, trauma for me was a lot of it was buried. So when I had started my therapy, and a lot of stuff came up when I started therapy at 43. So
You know where it is
I
now.
didn't even know I was traumatized. That's how deep my stuff was. So I always refer to and I share with people that I just thought life was like this, that you go around being unhappy and angry and fearful and
Normal behavior.
yeah, I thought that was normal behavior.
Yeah.
So trauma to me was in the form when it all came out in therapy was sexual abuse, separation from my family, um, physical abuse, verbal abuse, um, not just from my family, but bullies as well from
Mm.
school. Um,
Well,
Geez, lots of stuff,
well,
lots of traumas.
well, to be honest, I hope it's all right with you. I want to bring it up because the mental health warriors has been going for a little over 2 years, and we haven't really dived into all kinds of abuse, especially sexual abuse. We haven't really covered
Yeah.
that. So I feel like this is the right time, obviously, if you're ready, to talk about how traumatic that was for you, like carrying on, moving forward, and how did you break that cycle?
Oh, geez.
I bet you've never
Um,
been asked that before.
Probably, but
Oh no, she's
it's
breaking up.
first of all, what?
You're breaking up
Are we
there.
breaking up? Oh, is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, yeah, when you discover you've been traumatized by something and you don't know what it was, and then the uncovering of it, and then going through the process of healing it, um, and then today recognizing it's just a part of my story about my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long, long process. So the when I put a name to everything, okay, so when the therapist walked me through everything and says, okay, share what's going on with you. And I didn't even know where to share, but when all those memories came back and I started talking about my brother and my father and my grandfather and my ex-husband, and oh God, it was like the tears, like Adam, the tears. It was just it was like a year of tears. All I did was cry, right?
Mm.
So I felt inhuman, kind of. And I guess that's part of recognizing that you are human per se,
Mm-hmm.
and being exposed to that the spotlight was now on me. I couldn't turn the light off. It was like, here I am recognizing that I didn't like what these people did to me. That's why I'm angry. That's why I'm fearful. That's why I'm have anxiety and depression. It opened up this whole can of worms to go, well, what do I do with this? Right?
Mm.
And well, the first thing was to get out of a relationship so that I could function in therapy, because there was a lot of factors that surrounded me getting the ability to get therapy. And the first factor was I listened to all the wrong people,
Yeah.
right? So listening to the wrong people dragged me down this black hole.
Okay.
And then once the door was open for me to go through my therapy, I was like a sponge. I wanted to soak up everything my therapist was teaching me. I started working on myself at home, gave myself homework. I researched everything about traumas. I researched everything about anxiety, what kind of therapy I needed. And it just kind of turned into this beautiful metamorphosis.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. I really do. Which it's clicked another, because obviously we all know we're all raw here. We say things as it is. So what's the difference when going through that abusive journey? What's the difference between anxiety and paranoia?
Oh, well, I can give you two examples.
Go for it.
So,
Hey, this is your show just as much as mine.
yeah. Okay, so anxiety would be like, all right, I wanted to go out and do something, and then I would start to feel like, no, I can't do this. I'd start to be really nervous. I'd start indulging in overeating. That would be anxiety. Paranoia, for me, when I experienced the deep, profound anxiety, paranoia, was when I left the abusive relationship that I was in. I believed that he had buried bodies. I believed that he had resources to have people hunt me down and kill me. I believed he was an alien.
Did you?
Oh my God. I had voices in my head. People were talking without their mouths moving. I had a total psychotic break. And it was the most frightening thing of my life. And so that's an example of anxiety and then paranoia.
That is the first I've ever been told that someone's thought someone was an alien.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, again, we're all aliens from time to time, though, aren't we?
You know, it's funny because he used to claim he was an alien, and the mind can play such tricks on you when you're not well. And I would literally see things I wouldn't see, right? And then now, today, sometimes I feel, but in a different text. I mean, I don't mean I'm a Martian and from another planet, but I feel like the level of consciousness I have about myself and others in my environment, it feels alien, right? The way people treat each other, the way people don't respect one another and love one another, that feels alien to me. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I can't relate anymore at that level of lack of consciousness to see where you could continue your suffering, right? But people are very trapped in suffering, and that's, just very hard to let go of.
I'm just trying to think how to respond to that. So basically, you felt like going through this journey, you had your literal soul ripped away from you, and you lost all your identity, and you forgot who you was.
I definitely didn't know who I was.
I know that feeling. I can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hence why I'm constantly talking and constantly in Facebook jail, because I keep talking.
well, along the journey was the biggest thing that I wanted to learn about was my ego.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Well, you have so many planes to learn while you're on this planet, meaning so many different you have to keep learning, right? So for
we're
me,
all learning.
So for me, when I hit my barrier of facing the fact that, oh, I didn't want to have depression and anxiety and daily live through my traumas anymore, I kind of said, well, who should I reach out to? Who should I learn from? And my therapist was dealing with the mental health issues, right? The mental stuff. Okay. But there was something that was lacking from my therapy, and that was the spiritual stuff.
Right.
Right. And the spiritual stuff is where you're divided. Like, when I'll give you a story, for example.
Yeah, go for it.
I was sitting on the porch of the house I was living in, and all of a sudden I heard a voice in my head. Like, I didn't know at that time that they were just thoughts, right? But I literally at that moment had like a separation from myself, and I could see the I and the me.
Right.
So the I is me, and the me was my ego. So the false self,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the false self was what was causing me all this anxiety, and the real me was the one that was like watching that entity carry on with all the fear and the anger and the self-abuse and allowing people to abuse me, right? So when I had that moment of clarity that there was me listening to this other entity, I kind of took a step back and went, whoa, what's that? I don't know, many viewers who might be listening have experienced such a thing, but it's quite profound. I mean, I literally, it was interesting. It was a very interesting time in my life, and then it went away, right? It went away and it went dormant. I didn't have that peaceful feeling anymore because I was feeling very peaceful when I had that moment.
Yeah.
And then it went away for about, God, I don't know, 10 years. And it stayed asleep for a long time, that feeling of peacefulness. And then because I kept getting involved in trying people pleasing and exploring things that other people wanted me to do, and I just got lost again. And then when I finally woke up and I desperately wanted to feel that way again. I wanted that feeling of peacefulness, not live in all this fear. And it was like I just woke up one day and just turned my life upside down and started therapy and the whole journey with letting go of not letting go of, because you always live with your ego, right? There's always that false sense
It's
from your
how
sorry,
you
go.
manage. It's how you manage your ego. Because some people, especially like young teenagers, they let the ego take over their identity, take over their lives, rather
Mhm.
than us adults that do the opposite.
Well, I know a lot of adults that still are run by their egos, but
But yeah,
it's not as if the ego is the bad guy here per se. It's just that we need to recognize that's the part of us that is false and unhappy,
the
right? And that's the part.
self-critic.
Oh yeah, that's one of the names for it,
Yeah,
right? So
but
all of this stuff comes out when you start doing your therapy for anxiety and for your traumas.
yeah,
So I learned cognitive behavior therapy, exposure therapy, what other therapy? Acceptance and commitment therapy. I also did workbooks on cognitive behavior. Like I looked at all of my behaviors. And then that was fascinating in itself because a lot of people when they're going through their mental health aren't able to or haven't learned how to look at their behaviors so that they can
yeah,
get control of their anxiety.
absolutely. So, what was going through your mind when you first decided, right, I need therapy, I need help?
I was done.
You were
Like
done.
I was done with people using me, abusing me. Um, I
You were rock bottom,
especially,
weren't you? You were rock bottom and ready to say, fuck this world, I'm gone.
well, it's interesting. It was like um, I've hit rock bottom several times. So
Same.
I'm not in agreement with one person hitting rock bottom just once. I mean, there
No.
might be people out there that are like that. I don't know. But myself, for me, I had to hit rock bottom several times.
Yeah.
So I more or less categorize it like
We know the place. We're very familiar with it.
yeah, it's like yeah, it's a space of depression and anxiety that's so great that you have to break the cycle.
Okay, so for anyone that hasn't been aware of rock bottom or only new to this,
Mhm.
um, obviously we've all got our perception. I know what my rock bottom looks like, but what does yours look like and feel like?
Mine used to be where, God, it's been so long since I've had a rock bottom.
Hey, I'm full of questions here.
They're good ones too.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last rock bottom would have been when I was still people pleasing. And I was working at a job that I loved the person I was caring for, but I didn't like the environment I was in because it was just so negative and depressing. So I literally had a really bad anxiety attack and couldn't go to work because my mind kept saying, "Don't go there. You're allowing, what are you doing? Why do you feel this way? Why are you having these feelings of dread and horror that, and then once I stepped away from it, once I quit the job and I, stayed on my couch for a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
it started like I quieted myself, and then I got my answers, right? So I think that
Okay.
was like my very last bottom. That was 2018, but it was also the catalyst for me to create my line of mindfulness coloring products and my intuitive spiritual reading and stuff. So it was a very positive thing to hit that rock bottom. Every time I've hit rock bottom, I've bounced right back up even
So
better.
so by the sounds of it, that's when you first came across your own spiritual mindset.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
that's powerful.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my ego
Even though
was
I
no
thought it was a
longer in
lot of,
control.
even though I thought it was a lot of bollocks at first, but Ella, I think we all did thought that at first.
Well, I never knew about spirituality, that like I knew I had, like I always functioned on the line of analytical because I was
Yeah.
in the legal profession. And then I
Ooh.
always functioned on the physical because I knew I had to take care of myself physically.
Yeah.
But both of those struggled profoundly because I didn't have a spiritual side to me.
Ah. Okay. Hey, I'm getting to know you here. A different side of Annette Chiappe. Ah, okay. So
So
would you say your journey through therapy inspired you to start these books?
no, it
Or
wasn't
would you say it's part of the mental health warriors?
well, of course, that's part of it.
Ooh,
The therapy for my sexual abuse did not, it was a small part. Okay. So I'm going to have
right.
to rethink my thoughts here. It was a small part in the creation of my books, right? Everything leading up to the creation of my books was, of course, everything from my journey,
Yeah.
right? So the healing of the anxiety, the healing of the depression, the managing of my PTSD, so that I'm always watching and myself. Like I'm
Right.
constantly monitoring myself. So if there's a trigger, right, I'll go, oh, why do I feel that way? So something somebody said, something I smelt, something, a memory that came up from somebody else's memory that they shared. There's lots of things that can trigger the trauma to come forward. But I have an arsenal of management tools now. So
Uh,
they don't overwhelm me. They don't cause me to have a paranoia episode. And, it's night and day where I am today.
hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going back. I'm going to pick on that word trigger because I'm thinking about a past episode of Warriors of Attraction here, and they basically said, no, it weren't Warriors of Attraction, it was a different one. It was with Lisa Jane, and she basically said, don't see it as trigger, see it as being activated. You're being activated.
Oh, you think of trigger as a negative word?
Yes and no. Because why I'm saying that is because when you trigger or activate, however you want to brand it, you don't see the positive in it. You only see the negative. And it's time we
Interesting.
start changing it from a mistake, which we seem to push towards, and see it as an opportunity.
So when you say active, so my pain, well,
you see why I'm saying this?
Yeah, I get it. There's a negative connotation attached to the word trigger, whereas in activated, it doesn't.
Oh, I didn't say it like that.
Right. So if my trauma is activated, then yours what I'm hearing you say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that what did you just say? I forgot what you just said.
See, I don't. The way it is, guys. Yeah, and I'm not being sexist or anything like that, but it seems for the last few days, women have just ignored me.
No, trust me, I was listening. It's just that I was going round and round. No, you said that when it's activated,
you push towards the mistake.
You said if it's triggered, we're looking at it as a mistake.
Yes,
but
rather than the opportunity.
It's an opportunity. That's exactly what she said. So,
basically an opportunity to say, right, I've found the problem. Now it's time for me to work on myself.
Yeah. Well, interesting enough, there's the connection between the two words is,
awful, isn't it?
50-50 kind of thing.
It is one of them. I think what I need to do is but yet again, you're in Canada and Lisa's in Australia, so that's going to be a tough one to connect.
What's
between you and Lisa Jane and getting this out there? Yeah, because I feel like we need a conversation on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do it another date. Even if I have to get up at 3
Australia and Canada.
Yeah, I don't know what the time difference between the two countries, but it's like night and day, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like
so
when it's basically when it's all 10 a.m. UK, it's 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. So 10 UK for me is 5 hours ahead. So that's
you'll be 5 a.m.
No, 5 p.m. If it's 10 p.m. for you, and
you're behind me.
I am. Right now it's only 3:30.
Yeah, I'm 5 hours ahead of you. Australia's ahead of us.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's all 10 a.m., it's going to be your 5 a.m.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd have to be on with her at 5 a.m. in the morning.
That's not going to happen.
I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's how I do my morning routine.
Well,
I'm a busy girl.
Hey, we're all busy, aren't we? We all are.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk the Warriors.
Okay.
Do you see this as another form of therapy to you?
I see it more as a to give people some insight and wisdom.
Okay.
Right? Because technically we can't claim we're therapists. Although if there's a therapist on, then yes. But myself, I never claim that I'm a therapist. I am an intuitive spiritual reader and a mindfulness coach. I teach self-love. And so, yeah, when there's a therapist on, it's therapy. It can be very much therapy. But is it therapeutic? If people take the context of this information from our conversations and they go out and get therapy, yay! Because
win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation. Absolutely. Right. So, like I wanted to share with the viewers today, I wanted to share the book I did on my anxiety. See?
Yeah, let's talk that.
Okay. So the Cognitive Behavior Workbook for Anxiety. Now, I did this way back in 2000 and when did I go into therapy? 2010. That long ago? Holy. Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Well, I did it once in 2010 and then once in 2014. And between 2010 and 2014, I did this book. And it's amazing. It's a step-by-step program. Learn to recognize, track, and overcome fear. Break the connection between fear and depression, procrastination and worry. Overcome inhibition, perfectionism, and low self-esteem. Defeat social anxiety. Manage overwhelming emotions and feelings of panic. Stay on track. Right? It's so in depth that every exercise I did, I started going, I need this. I need that. Because it was, like I said before, it was always, this is life. Well, no. This is not life. Living with a trauma and being traumatized every day over and over and over again is not a good life, right? No. So when you start breaking these steps in these programs down, learn to recognize and track and overcome fear. Okay, so it teaches you, what are you fearful of? Why are you fearful of that, right? How do you manage that fear? And then break the connection between fear and depression. God, I don't even remember much on that, but there is a connection between fear and depression, because if fear will take you into depression because you're too fearful to do anything. So you're not out there enjoying your life. You're not going out and socializing. You're not, you're not able to go to work. You get so fearful that you can't go to work. So you get depressed. Like the cycle between anxiety and depression is just like a monster.
And I'm going to share, which I've already repeated it many times, but I'm going to repeat it again to get it, share it, because if you take the word depression, take the letters from it, I pressed on.
Oh, neat. I never heard you say that.
Right, have you got a piece of paper and pen?
What?
Have you got a piece of paper and pen?
Always, yeah.
Right, go on. Write the word depression, big bold letters. I'll even do it in the comments as well.
Okay. This is fun. Okay.
What?
Hi.
Lights out. Okay. Right, write the word depression.
Yeah.
Right, have you done that?
Yes.
Right, now we're going to transform it into a statement. And, and each time, cross out the letter.
Okay.
From it. Right, so first one, I.
Okay.
Right, and then the second word, P.
The second word, P.
Then R.
Right.
Then E.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Which
double
E?
S. SS.
Yeah.
Then ED. And you should be left with two letters.
From depressed or depression?
No.
What word did you use?
Pressed. P. Right, the first letter's I. Then the second word, PRESSED.
Okay.
Pressed.
Okay, I see it. Yeah.
Right, and then you should have two letters left.
That's
I
interesting.
pressed on.
I pressed on. Cool.
That's for when
that's
for depression.
Yeah. Well, I always think of depression as a time to do breakthrough, because it's like, it's when I got so depressed and I had to do a whole bunch of self-care, because there was no working for me. I can't work. Cool.
There you go.
I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything when I was depressed. Anxiety, on the other hand, caused me to try to overdo a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
cool. I pressed on.
I know. I think that's going to really help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of metaphors like that are helpful.
Yeah, well, what we've got in our room is we've got a mental health motivational wall, where it means
Mhm.
like if we get down or get emotional, we go straight
Yeah.
for that wall and we read positive affirmations and do a little bit of yoga or meditation, and that's it. Hour later, we're
Nice.
back doing what we're doing.
Yeah. I could show the viewers my board that I used while I was suffering with depression and anxiety. Would you like to see it?
Go for it.
Yeah, because I keep all the stuff I create, right? I have a library of all the work I've done on myself. So you might not be able to see it too clearly, but it was my inspirational, which way do I go? This way. Inspirational board. Okay, so of course I did artwork on it, right? My artist was starting to come out even then.
That's
So
even better.
yeah. So it started with affirmations that were like I was picking up along the way. Let go, and if it's meant to be, it will be. The love you are looking for is within. I'll just read a few. I won't read all of them.
That's okay.
Patience, just keep going. Um, if you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. I love that one because it's so true.
Yeah.
Have faith. Be grateful.
Have faith. Now
There is always.
you've got me singing George Michael in my head now.
uh,
Thanks, Annette.
oh, this one was very important because I was such a people pleaser. You have to do exactly what's best for you and your life, not what's best for everyone else. Right? So that was my board. I had that board.
We've
And
all
that
got
helped
our
me.
own boards.
Yeah, we should do a
Yeah.
board like that together on a show.
Do you know what? I think we should, yes.
Yeah, like a mental health
What I think we should
inspirational board.
do, what I think we should do is around Christmas,
Mhm.
that's when people get triggered the most with like loneliness and all that. So I think what we should do is have a Warriors special, Christmas special, and we do a wall together, a quote
Yeah,
together. I think we should get every warrior on, everyone.
yeah, I like that idea.
So do I. So do I.
So,
We'll have it. We'll have it on Warriors of Attraction.
okay.
Sorted,
So,
settled.
all right. So, would you like to let's mix it up a little bit with our viewers and let you pick a page, and I will share with you what you picked. Okay, so when I fan the book, you tell me to stop, and then we'll share about that topic.
Okay.
Okay,
Go.
so tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Oh, it's interesting. I have to go back and read the beginning of it. So it's about behavioral methods to quell fear.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they're talking about, here I have to go to the previous page, using the cart sort technique. So this is about he needed a plan to get exposure. So
That's. Do you know what?
it's about writing. It's about writing your conditions about what your fears are. So you break it down into like, so apparently this person in the story had difficulty uh, going to his classes right? So he had anxiety and panic, and he had anxiety for his psychological class.
Right.
Based on his research, he prepared himself to face what he feared. So this is a mechanism by using a card sort technique where you list your fears and the conditions to make it better for you. Isn't that interesting?
That just ties into my motto,
Mm-hmm.
which is if you're down or depressed, whatever like that, you have to create a plan,
Mm-hmm.
process it, then execute it.
Yes, it's very similar kind of.
PPE, yeah.
So it's interesting because I remember when I had these episodes of panic to leave the house,
Okay.
and I didn't want to leave the house because of fears of running into the people that were bullying me,
Right.
and I would have to um, prepare a plan.
Yeah.
So first was I had made sure I had a friend that was going to be where I was going to be. She was my safety net. I had to make sure that I was dressed in an appropriate way that caused me not to feel like I was exposed.
Right.
Um, because when around anything with sexual abuse, one of the hardest things is the trying to be feminine and sensual, but not be um, overtly trying to draw attention to yourself. It's really, really
Fear
complex.
of your own body.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
know. Yeah.
you want attention, but you don't want negative attention. Like
Yeah.
I've had incidents where people have grabbed me inappropriately, and it's just really set me off on a activation. We'll use the new word,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
right? So, like, I had to have a plan. So, using these kind of plans, they work.
We've got something to work on.
Mm,
We do. Huh.
yeah.
Okay. Right.
What
Okay.
about Adam? What does some of Adam's anxiety look like?
Oh, now you're talking. The last time I actually had a really bad anxiety attack was 2019,
Hmm.
and it was horrible. It was horrible with all the childhood trauma, with all the bullying, with the fact that I've got a daughter that's in the system. So all that basically overwhelming me, and I'm like, how the fuck do I process all that in one? All while raising two autistic kids as well, with a nagging partner.
So, how
So,
did you deal with your anxiety?
um, practice self care. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't. But, but I thought, you know what? I tried going to like the doctors and therapy and all that. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't. So I think like the biggest self care I've ever done was create this platform, because it's now given me that opportunity to release that unwanted energy, which I just it wasn't serving me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking to people. So really, what I've done is gone through all my challenges, like anxiety, through talking therapy.
So, your best therapy for anxiety is talk therapy.
Yeah,
Nice. That's
I'm
good.
definitely a talker.
Well, I found the best part of my therapy was the writing.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, I that's why I have so many books on, and reading and writing.
I
Right.
tried. I tried writing. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about being on this journey with your mental health and taking
Yeah,
care of your mental health. It's like what works best for me may not work best for another. Right?
exactly.
I love trying to get, sell as many mindfulness coloring books as I can, but you know how many people have come up to me and says, "That causes me anxiety because people just can't focus on the little fine print. It just, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Well, this is why going through uni, all I'm thinking now is the fact that my mock exams, which those exams will go towards my final grade. I've got them starting in January, so that's playing on my mind now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you get anxiety thinking about stuff for like that you have to do in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you prepare for that? How do you calm those anxieties?
Well, this has only recently started, only today, so I now need to find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I will. I'll find one.
Mm-hmm.
But because nothing's come to me yet, I think what I'll need to do is meditate for a bit. Like grab a few crystals, just meditate with some music, and I'll be all right.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I like the fact that now where you and I are in this having these chats and all the various topics and stuff, it's like it's so helpful
It
that
is.
we can share this stuff with people.
Yes, I love it too.
Yeah. And I do find even these conversations, like the topics are also they open me up to realizing to have some loving kindness for other people who are struggling. And
Yeah.
I see a lot of people like their initial snap judgment is to judge, but the other day I had to say something to someone I deeply love and say, the way you spoke to me, I did not feel good about it. Made me feel stupid.
Okay.
And try stepping into my shoes to see if you would like somebody to talk to you that way. Right? And it's a learned behavior that person has that they don't even realize that they're talking down to you, or in some platforms it might sound like that person's trying to bully you or be degrading or disrespectful.
Intimidating.
But
Intimidating.
Yeah. No, it was just like I felt it, I started to have those old feelings. I had my ego activated, and it was like, this person's trying to say I'm stupid.
I've got to say inactivated now.
Yeah. So I spoke up, now that I have
Good on you.
I spoke up, but I spoke up from a place of compassion because I wanted to understand why he spoke like that. Right?
Yes.
Where he learned that. And why did he not understand that he was communicating the way he was communicating? And a lot of us, I mean, I know myself, I'm no saint. I used to talk down on people all the time.
Yeah, well, you do well, and glad you fought back. You fought your own demons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're proud of you.
Yay!
Right, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for coming on. I know, well, I think you're on next week. I don't know.
Next week? No, I'm on the 21st.
Is it 21st?
No, yes, you're right. I'm on the 8th. I'm on Thursday next week. If she gets back to me. I haven't heard back from her, so
let me know. Let me know.
I will.
All right. I'm going to wrap up, and thanks. And
I'm going to tell Andrea to watch.
Oh, she will.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay.